Experience a world of choice.
And 100% math. Invest in your child's academic success. Visit 100%math.com or call 547-9817.
And now, The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Buzz. My name is Orrett Connor. I'm filling in for Miss Kathy Miller on the Business Buzz. This morning, we're joined by Miss Tara Bush, who is a life coach and no stranger to Radio Cayman either, because she is the host of For the Health of It on Radio Cayman. This morning, we will be discussing the importance of mental health awareness. Tara, thank you very much for being our guest this morning on the Business Buzz.
Thank you, Mr. O.C. and Susan for having me on the show. And I'm so grateful that people listen, to Radio Cayman because of my show, For the Health of It. So I'm grateful for being here. Thank you.
Okay, great. So before we get into the meat of things, then tell us something about your show on Radio Cayman.
So it's one of the few, I think it might be the only one that's dedicated to health, and we try to cover every aspect of health, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, all the strands of health so that people can understand and hear from different experts. And Radio Cayman has given me that opportunity, and I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak to some of the topics that you have discussed on For the Health of It?
I think we have covered just about everything. The ones that we're covering right now are more based on mental health, which is what I'm here to cover a little bit about. We've had a couple of suicides, 4 suicides, I believe, already this year. And though I'm not going to talk about suicide because I'm not an expert in it, and I do believe that should be more of a doctor's level, we should look at our mental health and how mental health runs your entire body. So if you have good mental health, more than likely you have a good physical health. It's your state of mind. According to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being and what a person realizes their ability to cope with normal stress, all right, and can work productively and contribute to his or her own community. But there's so many little stresses that build up from our traffic in the east in the morning. I build my life around traffic, sorry. And for the poor parent who has to wake up, uber early to take their children to work, what kind of stress are you putting on that child? And the parent to get in. The amount of financial stress that we have in this island, because, and I don't want to blame the government. This is not I don't know what the answer is. It's way above what I can cope with, but how we have to bring in our goods and the cost of them. Yes. So there's so many different things that contribute to our stresses, and we are operating on a 50,000-year-old operating system, our brain. It is meant for us to be comfortable. It's not meant for us to be happy. It is meant for us to be comfortable and to be safe, to protect ourselves, to live safely. So if we're in a constant set of stresses, and I think we are, how do we cope with it? What are we doing to stop being, I think once we take ourselves away from our tribes too, that creates a different stress. But if we want to elevate, to move out of our comfort zone, we can, I think, build resiliency and also get our life into a different gear. And a lot of people want to stay here because they're comfortable. They know that that is what, even though they're spending way more than they make, they're comfortable in that. They don't want to study or whatever. So how do we get out of that is some of our stresses. But I'm asking people to start looking at their mindset and where they can make micro changes, because big changes don't happen overnight. Yeah.
Okay. So for a person who would be interested in coming on your show, and we are talking about mental health, but your show deals with other health issues as well. But we're even on this topic of mental health. At one point in time in the Cayman Islands, it was taboo.
Yes.
And for in some sectors, it may still be taboo in the Cayman Islands. But at the same time, we're seeing more and more people prepared to talk about their issues, to share their experiences, to help others who may be going through the similar experience that they're going through as well. So if someone has an interest in coming on to your show for the health of it, how can they go about doing that? Give out some details there.
Thank you. They can reach out to me on my email for the health of it 101@hotmail.com, or they can call Radio Cayman. They know how to get on to me, or I'm pretty active on Facebook, and they can message me if they want to come on. I am really pleased that I have a young person who attempted who was living with suicide ideation. I have to be very careful with my language, and and she's coming on next week, Wednesday, to talk and give people hope and talk about how her family support and how she made it through, because that's so important. I think she's giving some voice to her circumstances and what got her through it. Because sometimes people don't make it through it, So, and anybody who wants to come on, I love to hear from people. Their personal stories, I think, more what we need, especially on this issue.
Yes.
The stigmatization of mental health is something, I think, particularly with men, I could be wrong. They don't, we brought them up to, be big and burly.
Yeah, big men don't cry,
Yeah, which isn't true. You have emotions, don't you?
Oh, yes, I certainly do.
And I think the more that we can express our emotions and have a language for it, which is why I love this book. I've read it now. I finally went out and bought the copy. Brené Brown's Atlas of the Heart gives a definition of emotions. And part of what the research and what she's saying in this book is we don't have a language for emotions, so it's hard that we only talk about being happy, sad, and angry. There are 3 emotions, but there's a whole landscape of emotions here. I'm looking at them just to make sure that we have disgust, we have fear, surprise, amusement, excitement, interest, joy, confusion, awe, disgust, and frustration. And there's a lot more of the emotions. So the more we can talk and say, well, this is what I'm feeling. And also sometimes, even if we can't name the emotion, you can say, well, I feel this in my heart. I feel a tightening in my stomach. My head hurts. That's when I think our emotions have reached the blown state. We're no longer in stress. We're in...
At the tipping point almost, huh?
Yeah, we're being, I think, we're blown or overwhelmed. Like we're completely, I'm done. And people, if we talk about these, or even journal, if you're not in a place where you feel safe, because that's another thing. A lot of places in the world that we're in, you might feel like you can be vulnerable, and vulnerability is not a weakness; it's actually a strength. But having that language and having some place to express is very important. And are we creating that where we are? I think we have, I forget, it's in a presentation I do, but we have an extraordinary amount of people who, I think it's 73%, who experience some sort of mental disorder throughout their entire life. Okay. And are we getting that properly diagnosed? Is it a anxiety disorder? Is it depression? Because low-grade anxiety eventually will lead to depression.
Okay.
So stress may create anxiety, and then if you're in that anxious state, it leads to depression.
Okay. Now, before we go and talk about mental health care and how one can know when they should really start to seek professional help for their mental health, a few more details about for the health of it.
Sure.
When is it broadcast and the time?
Well, we are on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And then that show is rebroadcast on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. So, and it's just a half an hour. And you can listen to it on Radio Cayman on the website, through the website.
Okay, yes.
So
on YouTube?
No, we're not on YouTube because it's not a live show.
Okay.
I'm working with it to come back live again, but not right now. So, yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, Ms. Susan, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we return, we want to talk about mental health care. How can one know when they should seek professional help for their mental stress? And then the role that the professionals play in helping to maintain mental health, as well. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Business Buzz will be back after this short commercial break.
Elevate your child's math skills with 100% Math with premier math tutoring services under the expert guidance of our renowned mathematicians, Professor Emeritus Romain Angeloff and Dr. Mackenzie. Programs are designed to secure IB, HL, and SL math, CSEC A-levels, and IGC SE success. Whether your child aims to get ahead or catch up, 100% Math is your partner in achieving their academic goals. Don't let your child's math skills lag. Visit us at 100%math.com or call or WhatsApp 547-9817.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Water Authority Cayman would like to inform their Cayman BRAC customers that there will be temporary interruptions to the water service from Monday, May 13th to Friday, May 17th between the hours of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on specified days. Affected streets are Harold Drive, Hideaway Link, Ocean Villa Drive, Lime Lizard Way, Ryan's Drive, Stake Bay Front Road, Kirkconnell Street, Scarlet Drive, Foster Road, and the unnamed road at CB 104V. Please look out for our follow-up door hanger notice, which will be delivered the day before your service is scheduled to be interrupted. An additional door hanger notice will also be delivered upon restoration of your water service. These service interruptions are to facilitate Water Authority's ongoing leak detection project. The aim is to enhance our system's integrity by identifying and repairing all possible leaks. We advise customers to store enough water for personal use during service interruptions and limit the use of water-intensive appliances. For further information, customers may contact the customer service team in Cayman BRAC by calling 948-1403 or emailing braccs@waterauthority.ky. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning. We have Miss Tara Bush, who is a life coach and the host of For the Health of It right here on Radio Cayman. We're discussing the importance of mental health awareness. So, Miss Tara, we want to talk about how can one know when they should seek professional help for their mental health issues, or it could be a situation where the individual may not be aware of it, but friends or family may sense something, and as well. So how do you get that intervention?
Well, it's several things. I mean, if you are waking up every day dreading and a sense of dread, or if you can ask yourself, what's up? Are you listening to your body? Where is the sense of dread coming from? Is it your friends are telling you, I noticed there's no joy in you lately. You won't come out. You're self-isolating. It's okay to go and get a therapist. They're paid professionals to keep your information confidential. And, it's or a pastor, whoever you feel comfortable with. But it should be someone who that listens. Yeah. And sometimes, not sometimes, but they don't provide advice either. You know what I mean? Unless it's a big reason. So it's a safe space. Professionals are there to listen to you. They're confidential. We have EAP with government.
That's the Employee Assistance Program.
Yeah, and you can make your appointment online. You can go have your session online, or you can go in and have your session
in person.
So there is Alex's Place for teens and semi-adults, I call them. I know Caymanians have a very strange definition of younger Caymanians, but for me, a young Caymanian is maybe 25 and under, not older. And that, I think, is the age group. For the kids, it is the kids' helpline, and that's online, and you can listen to that. I think that's Thursday. I forget the hours, but you look it up, and that gives you some advice on how to talk to children. Because children are facing, anxiety and stress at an amazing level that I don't think, again, we go back to this 50,000-year-old operating system that we can't upgrade, turn off, and reset. Okay. And they pick up on their families' situations, their parents' situations, the National Drug Council and did a survey, 2020 I believe it was, and Cayman has some of the highest ACE scores, and ACE scores is the adverse childhood effects, and they're listed as divorce, sexual, verbal, and physical abuse. I forget some abandonment. I forget, there's a couple more. And Cayman has some of the highest ACE scores in the world with our children. Now, if you have 3 or more with an ACE score, so that's divorce, abandonment, or verbal abuse, or one of those, your brain chemicals start to change, all right? And then this leads to depression later on in your life. Trauma changes your brain chemicals, and we're not admitting it in our society. The amount of sexual trauma and predatorship that we have on, it is time to name it. It is time to bring it out. If you know, this is time. If you're going through this, then your child is going through it with you. I'm not shaming anyone. But it is, if you love your children, it is time to bring that in. Get them the help. We have so much generational trauma. Miss Shannon Seymour, Dr. Shannon Seymour now, brought it out in an Alex Banton Foundation symposium. And, you know, it talked about our generational trauma. And if your family keeps continuing that, how are you going to get that child or yourself out of those?
To break that cycle, huh?
Yeah. You know, if you experience sexual abuse or verbal abuse, you tend to bring that into your marriage, into your relationships. So go back. If you want to do better, you have to rewire yourself. Get out of that. I'm comfortable. This is what I know. Kind of cycle.
Now you've spoken about you know, the professional help and you know, some of the entities that we have in the Cayman Islands that assist with that. You speak about family members as well. What about the community? How can the community become involved? You spoke about the Alex Panton Foundation and the symposiums. You know, how can the community expose more of its residents to these issues as well, and the assistance that is out there?
Well, I guess get more involved. There is a walk this week for the Alex Panton Foundation. Okay. They always need money to pay, because none of this is free. I forgot to mention HSA. They have a good program, but it's an overwhelm. But the amount of people recognizing, I love that the younger people now are saying, I need help. Okay, they're raising their hands up and doing jumping jacks almost to say they need help. But we need funds for it to help. There was a mental health event last night. I forget where it was. Infinite Mind Care has a monthly session. They can attend. They can get more involved and say, this is what we need. Because I think at the moment we're doing things kind of like throwing paste at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. Get involved. I'm also a mental health first aider, and I think one of the things that the Addison Kelly Foundation, I forget the name, forgive me, Rhonda, but the money raised from the Deputy Governor 5K is going to be bringing on mental health first aiders in the community to help out the school counselors, because we're seeing more and more children with behavior that is unbecoming, for a lot of a better word, but they don't, again, have the language to cope with the situations that are going on in their house. All right, so get involved, you know.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more, and we'd like to get your.
Bless you.
Thank you. We'd like to get your views and your thoughts on the relationship between stress and mental health. I know you touched on it earlier, but I want you to go a little deeper into that for us.
Okay, stress is something that is good. Like, I'm a little stressed because I'm on this show, or I'm a little stressed, or we are a little stressed when we take an exam. That is good. That's good stress. That helps to dial you up, helps you to prepare. Physical stress, like you go riding, that is good physical stress. I mean, good stress. But if it becomes this low-grade, constant thing that you're feeling every single day, and it's usually, it could be something in the past too. Worry is something that you're fixating on, something that might happen and you catastrophize, which brings up your anxiety. So anxiety is like forward-based. Stress is something you are going through or anticipating as well. And it could be based on past experiences with the person. So for me, I both get stressed. I don't think I'm chronically stressed because I do try to manage that. When I was going through menopause, I really thought that I was going to go a little mad. And they would say, learn how to breathe. And I was like, how the heck? Why was breathing matter? For God's sake. I breathe every day, but I was breathing in the top of my chest, not in my, the abdominal breathing. And if you do meditation, if you practice mindfulness, that's how that helps. It builds up tolerance. It builds up a sense of being, and control over what you have. So it's not doing it today and then doing it next week. It's not going through the situation. It is doing it little by little. Also managing what is in your control. All right. For me, I prepare the night before. I have a fantastic morning and evening routine that I do. I prepare, this is all my chores for the day on my list of things for the day. So I prepare for the day before. My clothes are laid out on Sunday evening for the 5 days. All right. My gym bag is packed the night before. All right. The food, we normally know what we're cooking. The menu's laid out. So these are in my circle of control. I leave the house before 6:30 because I want to avoid the traffic and if I'm going to my class, I have to leave by 5:20. So it's different things, and you have to find what works for you. All right. Controlling what is in your area of control. Do I need a new job? Do I need a better paying job? If I need a better paying job, what skills do I need to upskill myself? What sacrifices can I do to help?
Okay, you want to take the break now, Miss Susan? Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Just to remind you, in the studio with me this morning, the host of For the Health of It, right here on Radio Cayman, Miss Tara Bush. We're talking about mental health. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Business Buzz will be back shortly.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Investing in our children's academic success and future career is a no-brainer. Isn't it time we stop with the excuses? With 100% Math, you can take charge now. There's no reason for your children to fall behind in math again. Since 2011, 100% Math has prepared students for exams in IB, HL, SL Math, and CSEC and enrichment programs for gifted students. Visit 100%math.com or call or WhatsApp 547-9817. That's 547-9817. No more excuses. Set your child up for success today with 100% Math.
Are you ready for Cayman Art Week? From Wednesday 22nd to Sunday, May 26th, you'll find local art on show and for sale at more than 30 venues across all 3 Cayman Islands. Explore galleries and pop-up exhibitions anytime throughout the week or join one of our bus tours running in a different district each day. Admission is free and open to the public. You can check out what's happening and when at CaymanArtWeek.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Miss Rhonda, who is the host of For the Health. Tara, sorry. We talking about Miss Rhonda?
Yeah, we are talking about
Miss Tara Bush, sorry about that. Miss Tara Bush, who is the host of For the Health of It right here on Radio Cayman. We're talking about mental health. So you've spoken a little bit about mental health advocacy, and we're going to touch a little bit more on that by talking a little bit about how we can reduce the stigma associated with mental health issues. How can we go about reducing that stigma?
Learning how to not turn away from someone who has a mental health problem, and be more accepting of it, because it's like having a broken toe. All right, that's what for a moment your brain is, for the lack of a better word, is a little broken. It's overwhelmed. It's getting too much information or too much I don't know. It's too much of something. For children, I think social media has a huge impact on them because of the self-isolation. And again, human beings we are tribe animals. We are meant to be together. We are meant to have human connections. The more isolated we
gregarious,
become, the more isolated we become, the more depressed and in our minds we become, and we ruminate on stuff that could be negative, and then we don't know how to interact. We get social anxiety. So maybe spending more time with each other, that's a good thing.
And that's a part of the support group as well.
Put down your phones for an hour or two. I know we like the instant, the likes that we get on Insta, the dopamine. Ooh, it's a little high. Someone likes me, because we want to be liked. So it's both, What the question again is, how do we do this acceptance that for now that person may have an issue, and not turning away from it. If there's someone who is bipolar,
and not being critical as well, that is so important.
Yeah, all but for the grace of God, your brain isn't broken at the moment. Like I say, 70% of us are going to go through a mental health crisis at some point in our life. And our workplace plays an important role. If you have a bad boss, that dials up your anxiety and your stress levels to bringing you into that state of chronic stress and depression, which leads to anxiety, which leads to different mental health conditions. So again, it's so many different things, and acceptance, being kind to one another, knowing your emotions, journaling, being more self-aware and emotionally intelligent to the surroundings, your people around you. We are very judgmental human beings, or self-righteous.
Yeah. Now, we see a lot of focus by the government in terms of addressing mental health issues as far as their employees are concerned. I am not sure whether or not we have legislation in place that covers the private sector as well, or are they left to their own devices to have structures and programs in place to address the mental wellness of their employees? We know that in the private sector, the majority of companies out there, they're more concerned about the bottom line and their profit margins and how they reach those profit margins. And some of them don't give a hoot as to, what it takes to get that's what they're interested in. Can you compare the two based on your observations, what government has to offer and what you believe the private sector, or what you know that the private sector does in that regard?
That's a good question. I don't know any legislation in place, but I do. Government is a very generous employer. We have mental health first aiders. We have good plans for compassionate leave. And what I do see with the private sector is they are bringing in more people, more coaches, more experts to talk to their employees about things, about subjects. They are protecting their bottom line. And if you have a good HR manager, you can work some of these out. But eventually, they're not going to be as generous as government, which creates another stress and on the employee. But I do believe most of them have plans. What I remember, if I remember, is some of their insurances cover at least 20 mental health sessions. 10 to 20 mental health sessions with a therapist. So that is good. They are bringing in people to help. Is it enough? I don't know. It might be enough for some people, but not enough for others, which is the same thing with government. And, the public often beats government up for their generosity with their employees. So it's a double-edged sword. I mean, that's the best answer I can give you.
Sure. No. That's fine. Now, you also talk about health and wellness, spoke about health and wellness and how critical or crucial it is for us to focus on our health and wellness, and also to make the necessary changes that are necessary, for that, staying active. Speak about exercise. How does exercise influence that? We know that you yourself are a real health buff, as well. So speak a little bit about that.
Well, Mr. O.C., I've learned, because I've gone through anxiety, that exercise helps me to displace that nervous energy. So I have a very good exercise program. Every day I try to do at least 1 or 2 physical activities. I walk my dogs every day, and that's usually for a mile and a little under a mile or over a mile, depending on how hot it is for the pups. Yoga, meditation, mindfulness, rest. Rest is something, good sleep. I have really good sleep hygiene, and I would encourage people, do not think I'll sleep when I'm dead, because you will probably experience dementia or a breakdown before you're dead. If you're thriving on 5 hours of sleep, that'll work for a while, and then it'll stop. Because our body, that's how our brains reset, regenerate, restore. Taking care of our emotional well-being, and again, getting that language to understand what we're going through. Journal. A sense of maturity, and again, that comes from conversations and connections with people. And if you're not too sure of your emotions, go online. That's a safe place for you to learn about some of your emotions. Compassion and kindness. One of the things that we learn about, and I thought, is being practice kindness to someone else. That takes you out of your head, all right, and puts the focus on someone else. So even if you smile, start with that gradient at someone else, and then find a way to be kind to someone in your circle of influence that you like, or especially don't like. Eventually practice that. That will help you a lot in taking the focus off of your woes and helping you to understand. And I don't use the word fix, but get a different mindset, and develop empathy for others. The harsher you are on yourself or on others, or the harsher you are on yourself, is the more that you'll be on someone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about. I know you mentioned that you're going to be having a.
Sorry,
Go ahead. Yeah.
More self-care. Sorry.
Yes.
Boundaries. Good Lord Almighty, I am 60 years old, and I'm just understanding I need to put boundaries down for people. This is my working hours. If I'm having not a good day, this is something. Look, I can't talk to you right now. Can we talk later? All right. I turn my phone off after a certain time, or stop answering after a certain time. Yeah. Spiritual. Have a relationship with whomever. If it's God, if it's the universe, whoever it is for you, your higher the higher power.
Power, yes.
Yes. Meditation, yoga, journaling, a sacred space for just you that that nobody else goes. That is your place. Personal hobbies, gardening, dancing, personal identity, whatever that may be. Safety. Are you creating the safe space that you need? Financial, saving, budgeting, money management, work, time management, work boundaries, positive workplace, and learning. Always, I think that also helps. At least it does for me. It opens a different world. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the topics, upcoming topics that you will have on for the health of it. You mentioned that there will be a young lady coming on who will be talking about her experiences. Give us a sneak preview on some of the other topics that you're likely to have on your upcoming shows. I'm interviewed Dr. Chantel Bassam. She's going to be talking about giving parents advice on how they can talk to their children about stress. Okay. Dr. I don't know how to say her friend, Zanan. She is talking more about teenagers and how we talk about sex around that. Then there's a new mental health kind of craze. It's called the Light Room, and I'm bringing that lady, Avril Ward. She was an artist, if you all are in the art world. She has a place, and this light therapy, how this helps to
change, like give you a place to rest quickly. There's some of the shows that I have upcoming in the immediate future for the month of May, remaining in May and in June. Going to be talking more about men, with some men, because June is Men's Month, I think, in the UK. So we're going to be bringing up some more men topic.
Okay. Yeah. So I know we're running out of time, but very quickly, someone will say, "Oh, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, we weren't doing all of these things and going through, all of these things, as far as mental health is concerned." But where are they wrong with that? There were mental health issues then. It's just that we didn't have the necessary tools to deal with it. Is that the case?
I think so. I think it's a source of deep shame. And in our community, shame means that the person is bad. Guilt is the situation is bad. And that sense of shame is keeping us in a perpetual bad, a negative space. All right. If we have that language, we can talk about it. And it's not about the good old days, because I do not want to go back to the good old days where you waited for the boat to go in and go to Hobbies and Books and buy one book. We got deep problems, but at least now we're getting the language to fix them. We're not locking our children away in the closet if something is wrong with them. Are we perfect? No. Neither was things back then. Yeah. I think. Call me wrong.
Okay, folks, we've had the pleasure of speaking with Miss Tara Bush, the life coach and host on Radio Cayman's For the Health of It. Miss Tara, thank you very much for being our guest and for sharing such valuable information. We also want to thank our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center, Kirk Market, and 100% Math. I'm Orrett Connor, filling in for Miss Catherine Miller. Thanks for listening and watching on YouTube as well. Have a great day.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
And 100% Math. Invest in your child's academic success. Visit 100%math.com or call 547-9817.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands.